Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's start with the game itself. I imagine a roller coaster of emotions. What switch got flipped in that fourth period and overtime?
Our guys, they care. They understand what we're playing for. We came in the second half, talked about it as a group, made a few adjustments, and to their credit, they went out and executed on both ends of the floor.
And what you're playing for is the postseason, and you've punched your ticket there now in some form or fashion.
All right. I didn't know that.
At least playing.
All right.
What does that mean to you after all the ups and downs of this season?
It's a blessing, first and foremost. Just want to thank God for the opportunity to be here, coaching some amazing guys, our coaching staff, our whole staff in general. It's incredible to have an opportunity 2 years in a row to play in the postseason and playoffs. And we're continuing to build. So for us, it's a huge step in the right direction.
Different guys filling different roles. When they're swarming BI like that and a guy like Herb can step up and have the night he had offensively, how much does that matter to your team? And what does it mean to have a guy like that who can perform so well on both sides of the ball?
Well, I thought it was a huge growth moment for BI in the first half. Dylan Brooks and the rest of those guys were swarmed all over him, and he did a great job of just setting screens, giving his body up for the team, getting guys open, not getting frantic or panicking. And then the second half, the floodgates opened for him offensively. Herb was the recipient of the screening and all of the things that BI and CJ and those guys did in the first half. And, we talked about the threes, 17-7 last game, and that's a big deficit to make up. And so the carryover tonight was excellent.
Jaren Jaxson Jr. was playing a couple feet off Herb for a lot of that game. Herb responded on offense. Just what did you like about the night Herb had, and specifically against that type of coverage?
We're all extremely proud of what Herb did tonight, career high, but he executed the game plan, and the game plan was don't, worry about how they're guarding you. I know Jaren Jaxson, we've seen this before. He's going to sag off of you wherever you are on the floor. You'll have opportunities to score, but look to connect the teammates too, because it's really difficult to get from the paint all the way up to shooters, and Herb just continued to make the right play over and over again.
Yeah, and I mean, like losing that lead at the end of the fourth quarter, that can oftentimes be deflating. What allowed you guys to just lock back in and play well in the overtime period?
Yeah, we don't want to get in the habit of doing that. But, it's good to teach, learn, grow off of a win. And I thought it said a lot about our guys, our group, that, we had some brain farts out there and we shook it off and went into overtime and just executed.
What kind of was your message going into overtime after, having that happen?
I said we've done this to ourselves, okay? So that's number one. Let's go out and win the game. They're on a back-to-back just like we are, so let's go out and get it.
What was the key? I mean, you mentioned Brandon and the way that Dylan Brooks was guarding him. What was kind of the key to start getting him going there in the second half?
Well, making sure that we communicate the game plan. We knew they were going to guard him like that, so just kind of making sure that we communicate the game plan. Brandon he understands it. He's buying into it, and then the moment you set screens and guys continue to get open, they have to adjust. They made the adjustment. Now BI is playing fast. He's getting the ball in transition. He's rebounding the ball, pushing it, and he's still making plays for his teammates. So just like I said, that's a huge growth moment for him. And as we progress, teams are going to try to play him like that.
We talked about the lack of three-pointers yesterday, how big a factor that was in yesterday's game. What was it like just seeing that three-point barrage in the fourth quarter and just the way that swung the game and got the crowd into it?
Well, all of our guys work on it every day, practice, shoot around, what have you. And so trusting our work is important. And we're more than capable of taking 35-plus threes and shooting a great percentage. I think over the last 10 games, we're one of the top teams as far as percentage and shooting three ball. So, sometimes it can be difficult when teams are shooting it and we're not. And so we just want to have more balance. And tonight, it was good to see that carryover.
And we talked a lot last year about how important it was for guys like Trey and Herb just to have that experience of being in big games and seeing what it feels like. What's it like seeing where they are now, where they're playing a huge role in getting this win for you guys?
It's incredible. It's incredible to see the growth and the steps that they're taking as basketball players, as high character guys in our locker room. Both of those guys are leaders, and it's a blessing to have them.
Was there a thought to maybe challenge that call?
The free throw?
Yeah, the hook.
I couldn't see it. And so, I looked over to the coaching staff, and nobody gave me heads up that I should challenge it. So it was a difficult play.
And then just what overall about the job that Larry did, especially having to come in early in that third, play a little bit longer than longer stretches than we've kind of seen him do. Just what do you think about the job that he did tonight?
I told him tonight that Jaren Jaxson he's a handful out there. He's dang on near 7 feet, can shoot the ball, can put it on the floor, can make plays. I thought Larry did a really nice job of just making his shots tough. He's going to touch the ball enough where he's going to score. But I know Larry didn't think this, but that was a tough 40 tonight by Jaxson Jr.
In the first 3 quarters or so, it seemed like Trey was a little bit quiet in terms of his shot making, even though they got some good looks. What does it speak to both his confidence and his teammates' confidence in Trey to keep finding him and encourage him? Hey, I know you missed a few open ones, but in the fourth quarter, here are the same shots, and then he's able to deliver.
Yeah, I think that speaks to Trey's character, and then having great teammates that communicate on the floor, understand that he's a huge part of our offense, and eventually he's going to get open looks. Just stay with it, and that's what the guys did tonight.
And, beyond the threes, 39 free throw attempts. Not often you see a lot of three-point attempts matched by a lot of free throw attempts. How do you like the 4 team played with tonight?
I thought it was a good balance for us, and the reason why is we're a team that normally attacks the paint and score in the paint. We didn't necessarily get the scores from a field goal perspective, but we got them at the free throw line. So still having that balance of shot, fake, drive, swing it to a teammate, attack the basket, and tonight was good to see just an overall carryover from the previous game.
Big minutes from a lot of guys tonight.
Yeah.
It would have been easy to say, hey, second night of a back-to-back, down 19, packing in. Can you speak to the character of your team to kind of fight back through that?
Yeah. Once again, I'm extremely blessed to have a group of guys that care. They care about each other. They take these roles and platform that they have seriously, and they go out and display it every night. And it doesn't always result in a win, but it's a joy to coach this group. It really is.
Well, it's the first time in franchise history that 3 different guys scored 30 points. What does that just mean to be able to do that?
You mean to tell me David West, Chris, and myself didn't score 30 in a game? Once again, it speaks volumes of the guys' ability, the work that they put in, the coaching staff, everybody, our whole group, just putting in a ton of work to get to this point, and it's good to see these guys have breakout games like they did tonight.
Will, your message to the New Orleans fan base going into your last home game on Friday?
First and foremost, thank you. The fans have been awesome. They've stuck with us through the highs and lows of a season. We're extremely blessed to have a loud group of people coming in, screaming, going crazy, getting on the refs. It's fun to play in our building, and we're excited to get back on our home floor and finish the regular season out at home. So, thank you.
I see. They was down like 20.
What allowed you guys
Hold on a
to?
second, give me a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just let me know when you're good.
Oh, man. All right. Your turn.
What allowed you guys to, I guess, what fueled that barrage of threes in the fourth quarter that got you guys back into that and retake the lead?
Making open shots. Taking them with confidence. We work really hard. And, I think that's just a product of it. We were, getting stops on the defensive end and just pushing in transition and trying to collapse the defense and, make it easy for us to hit more threes.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Jaxson Jr. was sagging off of Herb a lot in that game. Career high for him. Just what do you think about how aggressive Herb was on the offensive end and the lift you guys gave you against that coverage?
It's great. I mean, you have to punish guys whenever they decide not to guard you. And Herb has worked really, really hard on his jump shot. And, I'm super proud of him. And, the growth that he has, displayed, it's been amazing.
What was kind of the overall message for the team going into the overtime period after the way the fourth quarter kind of ended?
Really, just keep playing. I mean, just 5 more minutes of basketball. I mean, we got an off day the next day. We just leave it all on the court. I think that was the main thing. We just understood that, we came too far in this game to just let it go to waste, and so that's what the main focus was.
Yesterday, you talked about teams kind of knowing the game plan against y'all. Stick a guy on you, 10 doubles to CJ and BI. Memphis kind of played that game plan a little bit more aggressive, like I think you talked about Jaren helping off of Herb. What was it today that allowed maybe a little different level of success than yesterday's game?
Part of it was, the defensive stops. In the second half, at the end of the day, you can't top block a guy or deny a guy for the most part in transition. It's a lot tougher to do so. And then we play with a lot of pace. We're moving the ball a lot. I think that attributes to it. We had 44 assists. Last night we had 20, if I'm not mistaken. So, big difference. I mean, obviously making shots helps a lot, but, you got to move the defense in order to do that.
You also talked about getting the temps up from 3 guys being confident in their work. Obviously paid off in a big-time way with Herb, but in general, today y'all got more attempts. Would you say, again, it's because of the pace and the early offense? A lot of them were early transition threes?
Yeah, a lot of it is, just, moving the defense. That's a big part of it. When you move the defense, then you're able to, get up more attempts and, you're able to create more advantages. That's all it was. I mean, I know for myself, I'm, trying to be really aggressive on getting up a lot more attempts as well. Y'all late, man.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all good.
In the first half, because of the style of defense that the Grizzlies were playing, BI did a lot of work as a screener and trying to free up some of y'all, free up her, free up you. What does it mean to see, you have the leader of your team, he's a go-to scorer, but he's now sacrificing his shots and his looks and working for the better of the team?
That just is a testament to BI and who he is as a person, and also, what our team is about. It's definitely, a we score mentality, and it's been like that the whole year. I'm super proud of this team, and, BI has been a great leader and has been somebody that I look up to and, appreciate, the things he's doing out there on the court.
Hey, Trey, this is the first time in franchise history that 3 players have scored 30 in a game. Are you surprised to hear that? And also, just what does that mean? What does that say about this team that y'all able to accomplish that?
I'm trying to think of, some trios for the Pelicans. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised. No disrespect to the other former Pelicans, but we got some talented guys on this team, and tonight, definitely showed that. And Herb, man. What's crazy is somebody before the game during our little shooting time said, "All right, Herb, get you 30 tonight." And we looked and we're like, Herb, he be scoring, but 30, though, that's a lot. And then when he came back on the bench, I looked up, he had 30. I looked and I was like, maybe we got to bring him back for more games because he might know what he's talking about. So, it was just a fun time for sure.
Y'all clinched a play-in tournament slot tonight. A couple games ago you said it'd be a travesty if you guys were at home in the playoffs. I mean, why are you just feeling like like it would really sting, if you're not part of that.
Yeah. Definitely had to be at least in the plan. Work is done. Obviously, we gotta get to the playoffs. We gotta, make a run. That's what that's what I've been all about ever since playoff basketball last year, and feeling that feeling, and like it's just amazing. And I just want to make sure we get back there again.
Trey, considering all the hurdles you had tonight, a must-win game, you guys were down big at halftime, then they, again, jumped out to a big lead in the fourth quarter. Is this the type of win that you can kind of put in the back of your mind and use during whether it's the play-in or playoffs, wherever you guys start?
Absolutely. It's one of those wins that, builds character. We had a lot of adversity, fought back, had more adversity, and fought back again. And so it just shows our resilience and the fight that we have in this team.
And we talked a lot about the ups and downs you guys have dealt with all year. Just what do you think about the way Willie has kind of handled that as a head coach and one of the leaders of his team, and just kind of been the presence for you guys during some of those ups and downs?
Yeah, Coach Green's been the same throughout the whole season. Never too high, never too low, and I feel like that's pretty important for us. Basketball games, the way that they go, they just are very sporadic, and so, your mind has to stay even-keeled in order to just stay focused on the task at hand.
I don't know if it was your third or fourth three in a row, but you were right on the baseline, turned and looked at a couple people sitting courtside. Just talk about the impact of the crowd and going in your final regular season home game on Friday. What do you expect?
Man, I'm very excited. The Smoothie King Center was popping tonight. Every three that was hit, it's just a screeching yell. And, man, I really enjoy it, and I really appreciate the fans for coming out. We got one more home game for certain. And, I just really want everybody to come out and, show support.
You've had a couple of games, especially towards the end of last year. You've had it this year, too, where you may not start off the strongest, but when the game is on the line, fourth quarter, you've been able to rattle off 2, 3, 4 threes in a row. When that type of game is going, are you thinking about like what's happened in the previous shot? Are you thinking about getting the next one up? Like where are you at mentally? And then when you see that first one go in, where are you at then?
Yeah, I was talking to Jay Rich about it actually, and I was like, after the first one goes in, I get pretty locked in. But if it's 2 in a row that go in, it's just like another mode, like a switch just flips off, and I just attack it and just try to hunt shots and just repeat that same form that I was repeating, the shot before. And I don't even think about the shots before that. Like, I know I just said the same form, but I don't even think about misses or anything like that. Like, I forgot I even missed in the first half, and if I'm being completely honest with you. And so I was just like, any daylight I got, I'm going to shoot it. And, eventually they're going to go in. And I think that's just what happened in the second half.
Thanks, Trey.
Yep. Oh. I'm about to get out, I promise. I just see one possession. Stay.
Herb, Jaron was sagging off you to begin that game. Just what was your strategy tonight, and that helped you have that career night that you did?
Just trusting in my work, and staying aggressive throughout the game, not worrying about the misses, and like I said, just trusting in my work.
Do you think you've found? It looks like you found the 3-point shot here. Lately, has it been more of like a physical changes? Or is it just more of like a mental thing? Do you think?
I don't want to get comfortable with where my shot is. Like, I'm glad that the shots are falling, but I'm gonna continue to work. I'm extremely hard on my jump shot to keep improving it. And I think a part of it was somewhat mental. But I'm still not satisfied with how it feels right now, and I'm gonna just continue to keep working to perfect it.
I just want to hear more about the little story that Trey was telling us about the guy talking to you before the game about getting 30. He said it was during warm-ups?
Yeah, a guy did say get 30 tonight, and I kind of just laughed it off because I don't normally shoot a bunch of threes,
But my teammates always, tell me to shoot it when I'm open. And that's what I did tonight, and just stayed aggressive.
Do you remember your last 30-point game?
I think this is my all-time high.
High school for a game?
I don't think I scored 30 in high school.
And I mean, just for you, it's not the first time you've seen a guy sagging off you like that. When you see how much he was sagging off you, how important was it for you to continue to be aggressive and attack that space, knowing how that affects the entire offense?
Oh, it's super important to just keep guys honest. And I mean, I show up every day and, put in a ton of work on my jump shot. And it kind of, I know Jaron. I don't think he came out and was meaning to, be that far off me. That's probably like a scheme that they drew up because it did work before. But I just kind of felt disrespected because of the work that I put in, and I just stayed aggressive and the shots fell.
And just when y'all see the way they were defending B.I. early and just fighting to keep the ball away from him, just what was it like to see him kind of switch it up in the second half and finally get himself going?
I mean, B.I. just knows how to play, good basketball. He always tells us he's not really worried about getting his shots. He just wants the best shots for the team. He made plays for the team to get, great shots, great looks all night.
And we talked a lot last year about, you and Trey kind of getting experience in that playoffs last year and just feeling what it was like and how much that meant for y'all growth. How far do y'all think y'all have come in this year just being prepared for these type of moments and being able to make a big impact the way y'all did in this game?
I think we've grown a lot, especially in the aspect of staying resilient and staying steady through the ups and the downs of the game. I feel like we can only improve, especially, with the win tonight. We'll learn from it and grow.
What was it like trying to find the balance of when you're open, take the three versus being aggressive? You got to the free throw line 8 times tonight. It wasn't just threes you were taking, you're attacking the rim a lot too. So for you, what's that balance like? And hey, I am open, I could take this, or here's a lane for me. And to follow up on that, this is a team you might see in the playoffs here in a couple weeks, and you may see a similar scheme. Does it help seeing this now, in preparation for that potentially?
I mean, we've seen it the first few times we played them, and I just try to mix it up so guys won't know what I'm doing. I don't just want to, stand still in the corner and make it easier on them to defend us. And I just try to move around and get guys open. Like I said, staying aggressive, I think, helped me.
Just as someone whose role is normally more defense focused, how did you enjoy or sort of just take in that experience of being the leading scorer with 35 points in a game like this?
To be honest, I didn't know I was the leading scorer till after the game. I try not to pay attention to stats, during the game. I just try to take the best shot or try to get the best shots for the team throughout the game, each possession. I kind of look at it as a game in itself, and looked up and I had 35.
It can be a perception-changing performance, like for you. People are going to maybe have to look at you differently when they're trying to figure out how to play the Pelicans.
Yeah, I think so. But for me, I'm just going to keep playing basketball the way that I know how. Shoot shots when I'm open, and if I'm not, do other things to get guys open and score.
The last thing is when you look at the box score and the points in the paint, it's kind of an unusual number for you guys to still win in spite of that. Huh? What do you make of that?
Coach preached, to shoot more threes because, we put in a ton of work on our three-point shooting. And he preached, if you shoot it, if you open, shoot it, and shoot it with confidence. And I think we did a great job of that tonight.
CJ was just referencing how much time you spend on your shot, but he said that sometimes he tells you, like, hey, man, you got to sit down. You're spending so much time on. What's usually your reaction to that when he tells you that?
I kind of just laugh it off. because they know I'm not gonna stop working. I mean, that's kind of it. I know people say it all the time, like it doesn't feel right if if you don't go shoot or if you don't work out. But that's really how I feel. Like anytime I can get a chance to go work out and shoot and work on the things I need to improve on, I'm gonna try to go and get in the gym.
Since you won and dropped 35, I don't feel too bad about asking about this, but Willie was talking about, some brain farts. The foul at the three-point line, did you think that was going in? And two, was there any conversation of, given the time frame, what should have happened defensively?
Yeah, I knew when the guy drove baseline, I knew he was going to pass to the corner, and I wanted to block it. And so when I went to close out, I don't think I fouled him that hard. Like, I think he kind of sold it a little bit, but
Do you think it was going in?
I didn't even turn around to look. Like, after I fouled him, I kind of just stood, and the guy on the bench told me that it went in. So I was like, after I fouled him, I was already sick, and I turned around and told my teammates, like that was on me, especially being, a non-defender. That was just a mistake I shouldn't have made.
And on the positive side of that, just kind of like my last thought is, obviously the crowd, like home court advantage in overtime is nice. Just talk about the impact the crowd had tonight and how much you look forward to having one more regular season game on Friday against the Knicks.
It was huge, man. Especially when we went on our run in the fourth, and then, when we started out overtime on that run, it gets super loud, and that only feeds, energy into the team. I mean, I feel like we already play hard, and when the crowd gets into it, it takes it up another level. So I'm super excited to get another game here in the Blender.
Thanks, Derek.